Welcome back. We're near the end of RVAsec 14. I think the Capture the Flag just finished up. I just heard all that. It's been a great couple days here. And I've got my next guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Yep. So I'm Matt Meyer. I'm with CyberArk, and I'm based here in the Richmond area. I've been at CyberArk 7.5 years now.
Perfect. Based in Richmond. Love to hear it.
Exactly.
Why don't you, I think a lot of people have heard of CyberArk, but why don't you lay it out? What is CyberArk?
Sure. Yeah. And I think, we'll go way back to the year 1999 before some of these people maybe were even born on it. But we, started out PAM, Privileged Access Management, was kind of a bread and butter. We invented the space and started it. And really the thought back then, right in the 90s, early 2000s, who do hackers want to go after? It's the IT admins, right? Domain admins, Windows admins, Linux, DBA. So that was great. 10, 15 years, that served us well. We did great in that market. But finally, our customers started saying, well, we've got other people now that attackers are getting smarter. They're going after other folks. Like, if you walk down the street here, we've got a couple of agencies, here in Virginia where, social media became a concern for them, right? What happens if somebody hacks, some of their social media accounts? So we created what's called a business user account. So, people, a non-IT user, whether you're social media or finance or accounting, somebody obviously could email and try to get your account. So we started coming up with other ways to get their information. So that kind of started a new revenue stream, and we've been evolving, since then into other fields as well.
If someone comes up to the booth and they say, what problem of mine are you going to solve?
Right.
I know you do you solve a lot of things, but what is sort of that concise? What problem are you solving?
Sure. So I guess we consider ourselves now identity security.
Okay.
So anything like from the moment you log in, we can do SSO and MFA all the way to if you're going to a cloud console or even a browser, you're a finance user going to whatever bigbank.com you want, and you're transferring money. We can actually monitor that session to make sure if somebody logs in as you, they're not transferring $1 billion from one to the other like you see in the news. So really anything that's kind of highly sensitive, or we call privileged, or identity information is what we're going on.
All right, so I have to ask you this question.
Yep.
This year at the conference, it's been AI, which is like the new, it's okay saying, I keep saying, cyber's okay to say now. For a while we hated that. Now AI is like a cringe or love it. But I have heard identity more in these interviews and talking to people than what's going on? Has it always been a thing, or is it suddenly back again? What's happening?
I think it's always been a thing, but now I think, people kind of shied away from identity because they wanted, it didn't sound cool, right? Identity is not cool like AI or next gen or anything like that. But I think now people realize, we all have an identity. We're an all identity. We all have a social security number and a driver's license number and all that. Just like in IT, we're all a person with a different identity. And sometimes in a role you have multiple identities or maybe a single identity. But that's really, like I said, from the time you log into your phone or laptop till whatever application, your identity is what's carrying you through. So really, identity is what people are starting to pay attention to.
Now, when attendees were coming around and they asked you, what were your top 1-2 questions? What were you getting asked from folks?
A lot of, we've heard of you, from Pam, but kind of what else are you doing, or what else are you going after? And in fact, it's a good segue. Now machines, now it's like Star Wars: Rise of the Machines, right? Is the next big thing. So we acquired a company called Venafi, which is machine, MIM, or machine identity management as well. And the stat they like to throw around is, we have one human identity, you and I, but for every one of us, there's 80 machines in the background doing all kinds of work, applications and processing and code. So machine identity is a big thing as well. And now the certificate authority browser, Google and Safari and all those. For a while they had all 300-day certificates, but because of some of the changing regulations and compliance, it's going to come down to 47 days here in the future. So machine identities become hot as well. So start managing these machine identities like you do the human as well.
All right. So again, bunch of vendors out there. I know you've been around for a while, but what's the moat? Why you guys? What's your differentiator here?
Yep. Well, I think again, around 26, 25 years now. We've been public for probably the past 10, and very, very successfut. Fortunately, I guess our CEO says stock price isn't a measure of how successful you are, but if you look at that and you invest, you're going to make some good money in it. But I really think it's the people. We truly have a commitment to make a difference. And I've been here 7.5 years, and I consider myself short term compared to most of the people in the company. They're here long term. Nobody's in it to make a quick dollar and run. It's been a long term investment. So that's really I think the difference. And we have a truly commit. We have probably close to 1,000 developers now, and we have a whole team. They're locked in a big conference room in Israel. All they do is threat research all day, every day. So we're trying to get ahead of the attackers and try to be reactive.
All right. Where can they find out more? Website?
Go to CyberArk.com. We've got all the information you ever want. If you want to talk to us, there's a AI. Speaking of AI, there's a chat bot on there. I'm not sure if it's AI powered, but put in your information, and I guarantee you somebody will get back to you within like an hour or something. You'll have more information than you ever need.
Well, appreciate it. I hope you had a great show. Go check them out. Give them some support, and thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having us. It's always great.
Great. Cheers, man.
All right. Thank you. Take care.